MerFight, Curse of the Arctic Prince. A game I wanted to cover during Indie Fighting Game Month back in April, but just ran out of time. Finally getting back to it now, what I've found is a fascinating blend of fighting game conventions. Still in early access, but already having functional lobbies with rollback netcode, its developer Mattrified has something special in the works with this game, and I'm excited to tell you why. What initially caught my eye about MerFight was its setting. A surefire way to get my attention is to put your work of fiction in or around the ocean. I love aquatics, all the unique creatures under the water and the tales of those that sailed on top of it. So when I saw a fighting game set in the ocean, I immediately added it to my Steam wishlist, which was very much the right decision in this case. What you'll quickly realize about MerFight is that it's a game that understands its identity and embraces it fully. The oceanic setting gives way to a lot of different character and lore inspirations that its dev takes full advantage of, both in serious and less serious ways. The first thing that caught me was one of the online titles you can have, Heaven or Shell, a nod to Guilty Gear's Heaven or Hell intro. The game does also use it as one of its match intros, which was pretty cool to see. But even if you didn't know that it was a Guilty Gear reference, the wordplay still works. There's quite a few instances of that aquatic humor sprinkled throughout the game that gives it a good charm. That's really what the game nails. From the mechanics, to the menus, to the background music, everything about MerFight pulls from its setting in a stylish and bubbly way that's continued to keep my interest. The UI in general deserves its own spotlight. Main menus in fighting games can be surprisingly hit or miss. We've got the fundamentals like Tekken, the stylized like CVS2, and the outright terrible like Street Fighter V. MerFight takes the sleek and simple approach, and it looks fantastic. Main options slide down the base of a wave off to the left with a description of the mode in the center of the screen, under the game's logo. While writing this, I noticed that the wave in the logo curls into a fist above the G, and it got a laugh out of me. Little things like that go a long way toward making a game charming and memorable. One more thing and then we can finally get to the gameplay. The background music rocks. When I write these scripts, I usually have the game I'm covering open in another tab or on a different monitor, so I'm constantly hearing whatever the game sets as the menu music. And MerFight is right up there with Guilty Gear when it comes to games that I was just able to vibe out to while working on these. The music kinda reminds me of PS2 and PS3 racing games, but with an aquatic flair thanks to keyboards and what I think are xylophones. On a surface level, I love this game's presentation. Now let's dive into the fighting aspect of this fighting game. MerFight makes it easy, coming with an in-house tutorial that'll get you up to speed with the game's various mechanics and options. But what I didn't expect was for MerFight to have really solid tutorials on how to use each of its characters. That sort of thing is still pretty new to the fighting game genre. Most games will have what amounts to telling you to do all the moves, then get out. MerFight starts with a brief section on the fighter's backstory, then runs you through all the moves while also providing advice on when and where to use the move. At the end of the tutorial, you're given a short summary of what your basic game plan should be with them. I feel like every game should have something like this, where they outright tell you, this character's game plan is X. It's very helpful for new players to have something so cut and dry that gives them a base for how to approach playing the character. Even the most complex characters can be simplified down to, you want to do X to get to Y and then throw in some Z. Even if that's not how the character is going to be played at higher levels, it gives new players a better foundation to start from. MerFight is a 4-button fighter with gameplay that won't take long to get a handle on. For the most part, the gameplay is similar to staples of the genre like King of Fighters and Street Fighter, but through creative use of a second meter, the game implements its take on Guilty Gear's Roman cancels. To the left of the standard meter are 3 bubbles known as pops. The meter is broken up into 3 sections, and for each section filled, you earn 1 pop. Pops can be spent on pop cancels, which allow for combo extensions, along with air dashing and jump canceling. It's pretty surprising to see air dashing as a metered option. In anime games, it's often a universal mechanic that 90% of the cast can do at will, while games like Street Fighter and Samurai Showdown make this sort of added mobility character-specific gimmicks. MerFight strikes the middle ground, making it both universal and limited at the same time, giving it a pace of play unlike any other fighting game. But wait, there's more. To go along with your standard normals, specials, and supers, MerFight again strikes in the in-between with its unique states. Sorta special moves done by hitting both punch or both kick buttons. Each character gets 2 of them, and they all do something different, ranging from new attacks to status effects. It's another example of how MerFight's able to pack on a lot of mechanics without ever feeling bloated. Lastly, I want to look at one character specifically because they really caught my attention when I was going through the character lessons. Bolt is an electrified charge character. On the surface, he seems pretty standard. He's got a sonic boom, he's got a flash kick, and the game even suggests that you play him defensively. From that description, he sounds like just another Guile clone, even though he really isn't. The interesting thing about Bolt, and the game's other charge characters, is that all of their charge moves can be done uncharged by just tapping the directions for a different effect, giving them surprising optionality at different ranges. To go along with this, each of them has spots on their upper and lower body that will glow when they've gained a full charge, and I'm actually pretty conflicted on if I like this or not. On one hand, it completely does away with the ambiguity and unintuitiveness of how long you need to charge before doing a charge move. But on the other hand, it completely gives away the charge player's input, making it obvious that they've got a charge move loaded up and ready to fire. The way MerFight handles the charge mechanic is fascinating to me, because it does a lot of things that can help new players get accustomed to charge characters, while also looking like it might bite higher level players in the ass when they try to use them. A significant part of why I want to see MerFight get big is to see this new approach to charge characters means tested on a mass scale to see if these innovations can hold up at both stages of play. If the rest of the game is anything to go off of though, they surely will. Overall, MerFight's a damn good game, even though it's still in early access. There are a bunch of different ideas at play in MerFight that somehow don't get jumbled into a mess. Being made by a single developer, that's amazing, and a credit to how much planning went into this game. At only $11.99 USD on Steam and itch.io, MerFight is an absolute steal that offers more in early access than most full fighting game releases from AAA devs. If you're an indie dev that wants me to make a video on your game, whether it be a fighting game or something completely different, hit me up on Twitter. I'd love to help spread the word about your great game. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and watch some of my other videos, 2 of which are on screen now. Links to my social media and MerFight's developer will be in the description. Thanks for watching!